In this lesson, we're going to take a look at the circulatory system and kind of all of the overall components. We start talking about the circulatory system, we're looking at two different parts. You've got the cardiovascular system and then the lymphatic system. With the cardiovascular system, the responsibility is to circulate blood throughout the body. It's also going to carry oxygen to tissues. It's also going to be responsible for transporting other nutrients and removing waste from different tissues as well. Now, the lymphatic system is an extension of the circulatory system, and it's going to transport this stuff called lymph fluid throughout the body. And what lymph is it's a fluid, and that contains white blood cells, and it's responsible for helping the immune system to fight off foreign invaders like bacteria or viruses. So what's included with all of these systems? Well, in the cardiovascular system, you've got the heart, and then you've got different types of blood vessels. So you've got arteries, arterioles, venules, and veins. And then with the lymphatic system, you're going to have your lymph nodes, your lymph vessels, your lymph fluid. And the other thing about it is it doesn't have an active pump. And part of that process is that the lymphatic system, especially with like arms and legs, it requires muscle to transport that fluid back. So when muscles contract, it squeezes all of that lymphatic fluid back up into the heart. So let's talk about the components a little bit more in depth. So the main process of the circulatory system is to literally circulate fluid. So there are two different types we're going to look at. So you've got the blood, and then you also have lymph fluid. And then you have ways that these fluids need to get to all the tissues. So these are transported through vessels. So these are essentially pathways for the fluid. And then we have the heart. The heart is going to be your primary pump. It's a muscular pump for blood, and it's going to be that primary mover for all of the fluid throughout the body. And then you finally have lymph nodes. And the way I like to think of lymph nodes is that they're like toll booths. As the lymph fluid goes back along to the heart and goes back up, the lymph fluid has to stop, and it's got to pay the toll. And in this process, what happens is white blood cells are stored in the lymph nodes, and this is where any filtering of bacteria or viruses happen. Okay, so let's recap. When we're talking about the functions of the circulatory system, is literally to transport fluids throughout the body. With the cardiovascular system, it involves the heart and blood vessels, and we're going to be circulating blood. And with the lymph system, we're talking about part of the immune process. So this is the nodes, the vessels, and the fluid, and these are going to contain your white blood cells, and it's going to help to fight off those foreign invaders. And that's all we have on our introduction into the circulatory system. Make sure you check out all the resources attached to this lesson. Now go out and be your best selves today. And as always, happy nursing.